All right, so finishing the day here, up $335. Or if it was a commission broker, I'd be only up $30 because it took me 93 executions to get the $335. I traded 9 stocks today. And I wanted to do this recap a little bit different so that I can kind of look at each one of the stocks I traded to analyze my stock selection skills, because I think I'm allowing too many stocks to tempt me into buying. And I want to go through each one and sort of, give an A B C D grade. Maybe do it kind of like MythBusters and say, oh, this one could have worked. It was plausible, but it didn't. Or this one had an obvious problem that I didn't see in the moment. This one is busted. So let's go ahead and start doing it. You'll want to watch the clock here because we're going to go in chronological order. So the first stock I traded was EYEN. Now let's take a look at EYEN. What were all of the clues I had in the moment that would have been a yay or a nay for this stock? So the first thing you got to look at is, does it have news? I don't see any fresh news. So right off the bat, that's a negative for this stock. It popped up here pre-market and had pulled back a lot, and it was getting up into this gap. But you know what? It left this pretty nasty looking 5-minute candle right here on high volume. So that's a big red no. What I was looking for at the moment is for 7 o'clock to pop in, for it to hit 7 o'clock and for a lot of volume to come through. I saw a lot of orders coming through in the moment, and it made me think maybe it could happen. But I think that my stock selection skills should have probably kept me out of this, considering we had two big red flags, including no fresh news, which is a big red flag. The next stock I traded was KTTA. KTTA, let's take a look. So at 7:01, did news come out? Let me see. So, okay, we have some kind of a headline here. Preclinical data shows something inhibits, so it's a positive result for their drug. So that's a good sign. Let's give that a green mark. Okay. Oh, I forgot. I should have put on this one. We're gonna go ahead and write busted. Okay. Now, KTTA, so we have a headline. We have a 1 point for it so far. What don't we like about this chart? This is all information I had in the moment, but you start to overlook things when all you look at is a big green candle and time and green going through the time and sales. So I would call this basically the micro zone of the trading skills, and I would call all this stuff back here the macro zone. I have a bad habit of getting sort of tunnel vision in on the micro zone, and I ignore things in the macro zone, which would keep me out of bad situations. So let's look at more stuff in the macro zone. So on the daily chart, we have these big rejection candles here very recently. So the stock has tried on high volume to break out. It must have had news a week ago or so, tried to break out, totally failed it, came back down. It came down even further than it was when it started. So somebody sold a lot into that, which means there's probably a lot of people who wanted to sell it from the get-go. And to expect it to climb all the way back up to the top again today was a little far-fetched. So big rejection there and a sort of a medium rejection there, and at the same level. So this one, I think stuff like this should really bust it. That should bust it, unless the news is really significant. And I don't think that the headline was that good today. So I'm going to say busted. So all of the 7 a.m. stocks today, I think I should have just kept out. I think they were busted. Next one. Oh, okay, this is what KTTA did. And by the way, I am green on KTTA. So I'm taking small trades. KTTA, I'm green. I'm taking small trades on these things. I'm taking small scalps, and I'm getting green on it. But the problem is I'm trading a stock that's going to be difficult. So I might be a little bit green, but I'll be frustrated at the end of it. I want to try to avoid this kind of stuff in the future. On this chart, we have a nice looking flag. So that's a green. That's a positive. When it pops up, pulls back less than 30%, it pushes up again. That's a nice flag. The problem is there is a high volume red candle, a high volume pullback candle, which means there's more people that wanted to bail out on this stock or sell on the bid in a panic sell than there were that wanted to buy it and push it back up. What ended up happening on this stock is that it went up to almost $1.50, about $1.48, and came back down. Right? Yeah. So it went up to about 144 and came back down. This one, because we already busted this one, so you already know this is busted. So I should have still, so all the 7 a.m. stocks I should have been sitting out. Okay, here's another 7 a.m. stock. Let's take a look. SYTA has been hot the last couple of days. I really like this daily chart. So yesterday's daily candle broke the previous day's daily candle. And sometimes you'll see, and it's on increasing volume. So it's not, it's not implausible to think that the next daily green candle could even be bigger on even higher volume. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. So it's got a positive there. Does not have any news. Let's check that. So does it have news? I don't see any news. So unfortunately, it didn't have news. Maybe if it did have news, it would have actually made the move. Sometimes stocks can go without news. And in fact, this stock was tradable. It's another one I am green on, not by much. I'm up $190 on it. So I would say this one is plausible, especially considering the daily setup. So right here, it had made this move yesterday after hours it closed, I guess, about right there, about 4, and went all the way up to 590 on a very clean looking slope. I wish I had been paying attention during that time. It would have been about 4:15 p.m., which I never trade after hours. What I got excited about in this was that it had the break of this level. I liked this, and it was increasing in volume, and it felt strong going up into there. So I took this trade, and it was a green trade, but it was a scalp through the high. Is this one busted? I think this one is plausible. The fact it has no news is a big red flag, but the nice looking daily chart, this nice looking setup, and the fact it's pushing the high on high volume is enough to say this is okay. So I guess I should have waited. I should have not traded the first 3 stocks and waited for 708 for this one to start popping up. It pops up at a weird time and it doesn't have news, so would have been okay not trading it. So it pops through. I took 2 trades down here. I got in here and here. This is kind of a micro thing I wanted to pay attention to, because I have a habit of getting in a little too early. So instead of trying to grab the dip off of the whole dollar of 6, I was in a little too high, and I added to what was a loser at the time. But my stop was definitely at 6, but it would have been painful if I had to stop out of that. Average cost was $6.20, and on 2,000 shares, that would have been what? If I stopped out right at 6, it would have been like $400 loss, which would have hurt considering I was only up 380. But it didn't. It pushed through, and I got out in the profit. And this was one of my better winners today. So Saita, like we said, plausible. Not an A+ winner, but definitely plausible. BLMZ penny stock. I like penny stocks right now. I've been doing well on them. Problem is on this one. Okay, so we don't have any fresh news. We have a big rejection candle on high volume recently. It couldn't get past this, what's the 100-day moving average. It tried and failed. And I like the pattern. I like this sloping pattern. But that's all I like about it. And like I said, I have a bad habit of focusing right here and ignoring this stuff, and that's to my own disadvantage. So that's why I'm doing this video. I want to try to coax myself into looking over here a little bit more. So is this good? Is it bad? I think I am green on this one. BLMZ, right? BLMZ, I'm up $76. So I was able to get a little bit of profit out of this move right here. But the fact that it's got these red flags, I'd rather not trade things with this little range. When you look at the biggest green candle on your screen is kind of the way I determine range. And this is about 2 pennies. 2 pennies worth of range is the biggest green candle. You can still make money on that. I have before, but you know, it just gets you frustrated. You feel like you're going sideways. You're up, you're down. You get kind of chopped around. So this one, a stock that the type of stock that I'd like to kind of move away from, plus all these red flags. Yeah, you guessed it. Busted. So I got that trade, and I got this trade up here for this 5-minute setup. I'm green on it, but not by much. Next one, EDBL. It's kind of where everything went wrong today, and this is the one that kind of confuses me. So let's take a look at it. So EDBL has a headline: launches Kickstarter sports nutrition on Amazon, partners with Pirawana to accelerate something something. We could look a little bit deeper into that headline. Why not? Let's check it out. EDBL launches Kick sports nutrition on Amazon, partners with Pirawana to accelerate brand growth. All right, let's see if we see a big dollar amount or anything. The launch is being executed. This is how my eyes work. I'm looking for numbers. The launch is being executed in partnership with Pirawana. Yeah, okay. So Pirawana has over half a billion in revenue. I mean, they're launching it in partnership with them. They're not merging with them or anything like that. You know, I don't know. I see EDBL all the time, and it seems like one of those stocks that just headlines will come out when the market's hot. A headline will come out on EDBL, and they're hoping enough traders will kick it up. It's kind of they know how to time their news, basically. Yeah, okay. So it's an okay headline. You know, it's a headline. Yeah, they're trying too hard here. They're saying the market is going to grow 54.8 billion. They know that guys like me only look for numbers, so they're putting a lot of numbers in there. That's my guess. Maybe I shouldn't be judgmental, but that's what it feels like to me. So a headline. We'll keep that in green. So where are the red flags here that should have kept me out? Because this is my big loser today. I'm down. Sorry, EDBL. I'm down 300 on it. I don't know. It's holding this pivot, this high. I guess this after hours pivot, it's kind of double topping into that. But you know, it's after hours. It doesn't even show up on the daily chart. So a lot of traders, they don't even use the 15-minute chart. They wouldn't have seen that. I'm not sure if that's a big red flag. Right here at 409, you had some resistance. But that would have been up here. So a target could have been $4 easily. I don't see too much about this that would have that should have flashed in my face about like why this wouldn't have worked. EDBL has a 1.37 million share float. I guess one thing is the fact that I know this is late last year. It's kind of ancient history in the stock market. But late last year, it had made this big push and lost everything and then some. Then it had this reverse split, which can boost the stock, and it did. It boosted it to here, and then it came back down. So it's a lot of popping and dropping. It's a lot of trying and failing. So you probably have guys looking to short this one. I wonder if that's it. There's a lot of EDBL short traders out there that like it because it tends to stall out and come down. Oh, well, was this my first trade on it? No, this is the first trade on it. So, I guess this is a kind of a red flag. I was thinking that my first trade on it, plausible, but the second trade on it, not so good, because you could have seen it that it wasn't actually working. So the first trade, I don't know how much I lost. I think 150. And then my second trade, now this one, so the first one is going to get a plausible. But the second one, because of this big red candle here, because of this high volume pullback candle and this high volume pullback candle here, and the fact that I had just taken a loss on it, that's busted. At this point, it's busted. So it started off plausible, and then it got busted. Next one, IXHL. All right, IXHL was a big mover last week. I did pretty well on it. It had this setup right here where it had this nice gap, and stocks almost always fill a gap. So when you see a big gap like that, it's potentially a window for the clean air for the stock to move through. But it already filled that. It filled it last week. It came up. It came straight back down. So that's a big red flag that I didn't even look at. All I was looking at was here. All I was looking at was the strength on the level 2. Has a headline, but is kind of underneath this resistance down here. I would say just because of this, it should be busted. This is the kind of thing I need to pay more attention to. It does have news, though, so I'll circle that in green. But I read that headline, and it's really confusing. They're canceling half of their warrants, which is supposed to strengthen the underlying stock. A warrant is like a derivative. It's based on the underlying stock, and it trades basically in tandem with it, but usually a lot cheaper, which is kind of funny considering this is a 29-cent stock. I'm not sure about the headline. It has a headline, but I'm not sure about it. So, moderate to weak headline, obvious red flag, is really scraping the bottom and hasn't proved it yet. This is the kind of thing I want to stay away from. This is busted. Okay. CING. We're going to have to zoom out here because there's stuff I'm not seeing on here that I should have seen in the moment. CING has a headline. Something good about their drug. So biopharma, which has been a hot topic lately. The fact that they have a good headline. The fact that it's a U.S. company. All good stuff. The fact it's over this pivot. And it's over the 200 moving average. This is plausible so far, right? So I took a trade here at looking for support of the whole dollar, and actually did make money. Here's what had happened. It popped up to the $0.50, and then it came down. I thought it could continue up and push the high again. It felt strong in the moment, so I only took half profit. Problem was it came back down and flushed pretty quickly, and I took a loss on the rest. So this ended up being a loss for me. This was CING was a loss of $50. So basically break even. What I wanted to pull up was the actual chart live, because you can see, if you zoom out a little bit more, you can see that there was this big rejection last year where it tried and failed. That's so like common to see. I'm not sure how much weight I want to put on that, especially when it's a year ago. But that's one potential red flag. You can't see that on here. So I think this one was plausible. Okay. Next. NRXS. Okay, NRXS was the big mover today that I didn't. I left a lot of money on the table with. So, NRXS. Let's look at how it. This is how it first looked when I first pulled it up. Let's see what kind of information did I have at the time. FDA clearance, first ever FDA clearance for the treatment of a pediatric. I think was this the ADHD one? This was NRXS. No, I'm sorry. This has to do with nausea. Pediatric. FDA clearance for the treatment of pediatric this disease and associated nausea symptoms. So, okay, great. Good for them. Decent headline. I saw this and I thought, okay, this could be good. I feel like I didn't pay enough attention to it. Probably because I was frustrated already from trading a lot of other stuff. So NRXS, I was green and then I lost half of it. But let's see. So it was green. It had a good headline. It was above there's no like recent stuff that in the way. The 200 moving average is down here at 262. So it's above that. It's even above its most recent pivot. This one looks good, you know? So I think this one's confirmed, right? Confirmed. So all day I was trading plausible and busted stocks until 8:05 when NRXS pops out and gave me something that actually kind of ticked all the boxes. I don't see anything on this chart that's obviously wrong. Problem is I don't think that this was a green trade. So it comes down a little bit. Yeah, it came down. It came down, and I kept trying off of the bottom here, but I couldn't get it. So I was red on it. Then it comes up here. This would have been the best trade, this little pullback right here. And especially considering, it had kind of grinded through the weeds here. And then as soon as it got past 550, it made a move all the way up to 650. That's the move I missed. I was sitting here like a deer in the headlights watching it happen. But this is the kind of stuff I want to wait for. So that's why I'm putting myself in trader rehab basically, because I can't be taking 93 trades per day. It just kills my it kills me in commissions if I use a commission broker. But anyway, I know this is a long video. This was my last trade of the day, so it was already extended. So it had made that move from 6 to 650 or 550 to 650. It had pushed this little rejection candle, but it was on lighter volume. So, it was extended, but I thought, I had a little bit of FOMO, but I thought this kind of clean flag pattern would have worked out, but it didn't. It came straight back down, and I lost. I was up 500. I lost 400 or 350 or something just on that trade. Whatever. It's green, and I don't have 2 red days in a row, so I don't feel like I have to totally rethink my whole strategy. But what I would like to do is just sort of tighten the screws, grease the gears, tighten the screws, and stop trading weak. As far as stock selection goes, stop trading the busted ones, the busted and the plausible, and maybe some of the plausible ones too. Even though the plausible ones worked out okay today, I think that was SYTA and CING were both plausible. So I want to see a headline, and I want to see nothing like crazy, no big rejections in the recent past. And I think we'll stay out of trouble. So that's the plan for tomorrow. And sorry for the long video, but I hope you liked the MythBusters theme today. I've been seeing a lot of MythBusters reruns and stuff on my YouTube feed for some reason. So it was in my mind. All right. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.